low number 1. And this is something we referred to a little bit in those games. All the field goals blocked and misses and defensive scores. We had 13 total blocked or missed kicks today. Your Falcons' new kicker, whose last name is Romo,
Oh,
missed 2.
God.
Rams,
So bad.
of course, had block and a miss late in the game. Bucks had that late block that they scared a little scare against the Jets. They got a great celebration from Eric Glenn, but the Bucks pull off another one. Then another game we'll talk about. Browns and Packers had one. And of course, we just talked about the Isaiah Rodgers one. We had some other returns. Just talked about the one with Cam Ward, some pick sixes left and right. Whew. Do you want to start with your Falcons?
Yeah.
You want
Man,
do you want like a one-liner on them?
That was terrible. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And, you know, it sucked. Like that was one of those games from the first quarter. I'm pretty sure if we scroll back through like our chat thread, I probably put, this game's over at like 120 today, because you can just kind of feel when you watch a team with that kind of DNA that often, you know, just when it's over for them. Yeah. But like the Romo guy, I think his first name was like Parker Romo. He missed so bad on the first kick, and it wasn't even that far. He's on the right hash and just booted it like way wide right. I'm like, how do you, like, you weren't even close to like aiming it down the sticks. Like, I get it if you kick and you miss like across the front of the goal. Like, oh man, I bent it too far. But when you're on the right hash and you miss wide right, like how is that possible? But again, I'm trying to get better with my feelings towards kickers in general. So to see him miss 2 today, when he just replaced Koo, who was missing like 2 a week, it felt like it's not good. It's not good. I really think we should do something about including them in the game as a whole. But yeah, maybe if he made one of those kicks, it would have at least 3 points instead of 0 and a 30-point loss to the Panthers. So that was really bad. All bad from top to bottom.
It was real bad. Against the Panthers too. It's like, you know, you kind of think you're at least. Yeah, he what did he finish with? 33% success rate. Just too many misses. That's the thing. Is like that's what I was saying. I like him in the sense that he like makes some cool high end throws, but it's like need some consistency. Look, like, you know, especially if they drop back left and right, you know, every single time. And that was after the opening cup. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I know Falcons fans are pissed off at Zach Robinson, but man, that there were plenty of throws to be made on that tape today that he just missed. Oh, yeah. And it's game 6, whatever, but that wasn't very encouraging, I would say, when you're trying to figure out like what's next for the Falcons offense, because you just can't miss that many throws over and over and over again.
And this is what I was worried about, is because the Panthers, you know, they've had some O-line injuries, but like we talked about last year, you know, talk about their run game actually being pretty good. And it's a much more burly run game than maybe what the Falcons have faced the last couple of weeks. And that was my thing. It was like, I think the Falcons have more team speed on defense, but it was like, I think the burly run games like the Bucks have and like the Panthers have are going to give them issues. And that's what it felt like today. It just felt like they just kept kind of popped in the mouth. Like they just couldn't get anything going. Of course, kind of the game flow helps with that. But I mean, 55% Zion rushing success rate. And that, I mean, crazy. 0 run. I mean, it just felt like one of those types of games where it was just like they couldn't control the sticks or stay ahead of the sticks at all on defense. They don't have the DBs, even though, you know, Bryce Young's not like tearing it up. Got to see some more Tetero McMillan dunks, but it just felt like, again, like the Falcons kind of just like, they just don't have enough weight on defense. And that's like the only way I can describe it. Like, it's just like when it has to, like, they really have to put their foot in the ground, they just don't have that, which is a little scary when they get into a game script like this. Because then it feels really like offense kind of go, why throw the ball? We'll just keep pounding the rock over and over because they can't stop it. So, yeah, on top of the offensive stuff, you know, and then it's like, God, of course, this is the week I start Algier as like a flex in the league. And I'm like, come on. They'll be able to run it a little bit on them.
Couldn't even get going. Couldn't even get going.
At all. I know, at all. Yeah, and then the Bucks game was funny. I got to rewatch that game. That game was really wonky. You know, we had the Bucks O-line just have so many injuries right now. So hopefully getting Wirfs back soon. I mean, they just pull out another win. So, I mean, that they're a weird team to me right now because I'm just trying to gauge them. Their defense is kind of wonky in some ways. I know they controlled most of the game, but then the Jets kind of came back. So we're going to go on to low number 2, because this was another game with a blocked kick by Shelby Harris, guys, my former Wisconsin teammate for 1 year. Low number 2 is the Packers sputter, lose to a Browns team that does have a defense that makes every game a slog. They are the four corners team. They're just going to milk that shot clock and just grind you down the entire game. And they take advantage of a couple mistakes and win 13. The Browns win 13-10. The Packers lose a game that still blows my mind that they lost. But what'd you think about this one? This was an egg from the Packers.
Yeah, just like a fourth quarter collapse. Because honestly, man, this game was tough to watch for a few. Like I think what the Browns defense did today was awesome. But when when it was like both teams like going back and forth, just getting beat up by the other team's defenses, I was like, somebody make a play before I pull this off my TV and watch something that's got a little bit more speed to it. But like in the first 3 quarters of the game, Browns offense, 38 plays, 118 yards, 3.5 yards per play, minus 0.33 EPA per play. 24% success rate, 18% rushing success rate. I mean, that's what you expect a defense like the Packers to do to the Browns. And then I don't know, I still don't get what happened in the fourth quarter, but it kind of got away from them. Like they still only allowed 4.5 yards per play, but the success rate jumped up to 53.3%. And Cleveland was able to run the ball really well in the fourth quarter. So that's ultimately what helped them, get that win. And man, that's a bad loss for the Packers, because even though the Browns defense is good, you should still expect that offense to play a little bit better than that each week. And it felt like they were going to kind of maybe grit away a tough win against a bad team that you would like them to be a little more handy. And then they just, they couldn't get enough key plays at the end to win it. And, you end up losing to the Browns, who, I certainly didn't have this pegged as a win for them. In fact, I didn't even really think about this game that much going to the weekend, because I thought the Packers would handle business against them like we've seen them handle business against the other teams they've played this year. But that Browns defense is very much alive. And that defensive line is just like destroying units up front right now. Mason Graham's playing well. Myles Garrett's playing well. Shelby Harris is playing well. I mean, they gave Baltimore problems last week. They gave Green Bay problems this week. And it looks like that's going to be a headache for the rest of the season.
It was a big headache for the Packers. So, like, the thing about the Packers, first off, I'll talk about what you mentioned about the rushing with the Browns. That's like the one thing with the Packers defense. It's like, that's my one little thing in the back of my head. It's like, I haven't gotten that game script totally yet where a team can kind of just pound it on them and just go up the middle and just mention with that with the Falcons. I think some of the spine of the Packers defense has that little bit where you can push them around a little bit. But man, Packers O-line, because they got banged up today and there was rotating. Zach Tom got hurt in like 2 plays. And just I think they played like 8 offensive linemen or something today. I was looking it up. I was like, man, they're not pushing the ball. Jordan Love, like the things that make Jordan Love great, like his superpower is he pushes the ball like crazy and he doesn't take sacks. It's like that's what you want of like NFL quarterback play. You want explosives without taking explosives for the defense. And today he got sacked 5 times, which is the highest sack rate in his career, 16.1% today. He's only been sacked 5 times twice as a starter. He faced the second highest pressure rate of his career last week against Washington, only got sacked twice. Then he faced the 7th highest pressure rate today. Like you mentioned, it was the interior pressure that was giving him so much issues. Mason Graham, Shelby Harris, they got a whole bunch of quick pressures. So what happens when pressure happens, especially a guy like Love, because he's not going to run around and stuff, gets the ball out quick. So they're taking negatives that they usually don't take, big negative sacks, but then they're not getting the explosives because they're not pushing the ball down the field. They faced 19 third downs, went 10 for 19. They had a 33% success rate, which is the second lowest of Jordan Love's as a starter, the 5th lowest of the Matt LaFleur area. They had no explosive runs. I mean, this is just one thing after. Love only had 1 pass that traveled 10 or more air yards today, and that was the one to Golden when they were backed up. The fewest throws of 10 or more air yards in his career. He typically averages 10 a game, and he had 1 today. 35% of his attempts are usually 10 or more air yards. 4% today. They had 14 penalties. It was like, whew, it was just one of those days. I wish I have the quote in front of me, but Michael Parsons says, like, sometimes you just shit your pants. And it was like that. Yep. That's what they kind of did today. I'm sorry for swearing, Stone. I know we're live right now. But also the other thing too is they couldn't really beat man coverage. Ask the bed. Sorry. Yeah. They just felt like clamped down right now. Or today they did. And it was like, and then Love threw that last interception where he thought it was man coverage. Grant Delpit fooled him, bumped over. So he got fooled on that. I understood actually what he was looking at. I don't know what that was game plan thing or what. But man, that was a definite egg from the Packers, but still feel good about them as long as they get healthy. Like,
Oh yeah,
they have a good formula working for them right now. I think Parsons had 8 pressures today, so he's still Micah Parsons. They still have a lot of guys, so yeah, it was but it was just one of those games, the NFL. All right, low number 3. Talking about, actually, it feels like this division has a lot of one of those games. The low is anyone that watched all of Texans Jags, because there was some sloppiness in this game. There's a little bright shining light for the Jags at the end of the game, which I'll talk about, but there's a lot of ugliness in this game. Jags win 17-10. The Texans fall to 0-3, which is crazy to think of considering their weight of their expectations going into the season. Did you turn this game off in the first quarter? Or what did you think of this one? Because this wasn't even like a rock fight. It was a pebble fight.
Yeah, this game was rotated a lot for me in and out because I kept trying to watch it. I'm like, man, like, am I really going to waste like an NFL Sunday just sitting here when I have access to literally every game that's on right now? So like I kept like pulling it in and out, and then like someone would say, "Oh my God, Travis Hunter," so I put it back on. And then I feel like every time I turned back on, nothing would happen for like long stretches of time. And then at the end, as the NFL, where they find their glory is you're legislated into fun at the end because every game is close. You can watch 55 minutes of slop, which there was a lot of slop in the first 55 minutes of this game. And then it turns out to be fun at the end. But man, both offenses get back to the drawing board for this one, because over the course of this game, like it was not pretty. And especially the Texans by the end of it just kind of feels like they have no real identity on offense. Maybe that's the offensive line woes. Maybe it's a new OC, but they really have got to get together and try to figure out what they can do here, because like at 0-3, your season is on life support, man. Because fans always say, "Oh, it's only 3 games, so early in the season." Well, yeah, but like you have to be perfect basically from here on out, and that's unlikely if you started 0-3. They had a 27% success rate today. The Texans did on offense, 12% rushing success rate. I mean, it's not good. It's not working. And honestly, I just don't see where like any relief is going to come, because as we talk about all offseason, this was their plan, like to put this group of offensive linemen together. Like they went out and signed these players before the draft. So, this was their plan to build an offense from these guys. And it's just been brutal to watch so far. And it seems like this is probably what it's going to be all season for them.
That's the thing, is like there's no reinforcements, there's no like ideas I'm seeing where I'm like, okay, the guy just missed, and if they did that, it's like, I don't know, they have a very traditional offense, so it's not like I see, it's not like the Dolphins offense where the last couple of years where I was always like, they give up a lot of pressure on this stuff, but like they mitigate it by doing this and that, balls out quick, yada yada. Like, there's ways you can do that. Usually it's really good quarterback play or some really good designs. Like, screen game's not there. There's no, Nick Chubb's doing his damnedest, but it's not like the great running back room as well to like kind of create a bunch of misses. Stroud's game is to like, he wants to sit there and dice you up. He doesn't want to be moving left and right. And you could feel him starting to get antsy at times. Like his clock's speeding up now. He has, and that's not like how you want any quarterback to operate, as advanced as I think he is mentally. And so, Texans, I mean, both teams average under 5 yards per play. They combined 9 for 30 on third down, 4 turnovers. Texans had 34% success rate, 34.5. Jags had 34% success rate. Just like 1 out of 3 plays was good for the offense. And you're hoping for half and a good performance. The Jags on their side of the ball, some brutal drops. The receivers keep messing up where the line up, which is like, oh my God, how many different coaches have to come into Jacksonville and the receivers can't line up? I attribute some of that to, Travis Hunter being young, other guys too, maybe not being astute with their details. But then at the very end, just a beautiful, beautiful moment of execution from the Jags offense. And this is where I see this little glimmer of hope with this team. I do think Liam Cohen's got the goods, man. I think he's got some real good play design stuff. And like rewatching last week against the Bengals, and I know that's kind of routes on air, I was kind of like, yeah, they got some good stuff going here. Good timing on good kills and checks between plays. But it was a 46-yard Brian Thomas Jr. First play out of 2 minute. Do you know, I know you play defense, Charles, what's a big alert for offenses out of 2 minute? Like an open play? Like any clock stoppage? Blitz. blitz.
Yes.
Because you get the long play call and everyone can get into the
Yes.
huddle on the sideline and go like, hey, we got this, blah, 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 blah. And then defensive guys always call it like napalm, knife, dagger, like, you know, like slit your throat, cover zero.
We used to have aliens from movies as our blitz tags in 2 minutes. Yeah. So if your Predator was a
like
big
which
one,
ones? Like
Predator, yeah. And then sometimes we would tag like
Xenomorph.
We would tag like stunts like we would say like ET, like, or we would say bike because he's riding the bike in the sky.
Yeah,
so that's end first tackle because you got the ET stunt. So
I actually like that one.
Yeah.
That's Gettysburg. Look at you guys. That was actually a good one. I like that.
I actually came up with that one myself, and my coach was like, oh,
okay. Well,
yeah.
I that's a good one. I like that a lot. My favorite kind of codename one was I was in high school and we were trying to come up with what to say on first sound. So we're trying, to think of something with an F. And a kid goes, Phoenix, which is PH. And we were kind of like, and then we were like, that's sticking. Done. Phoenix. There it is. Didn't even start with an F, but boom, that one stuck in everyone's brain right then and there. No, but this last play, dude, it felt almost cathartic, I think, for the Jags and who was involved. It was Brian Thomas Jr. It was over the middle. It was him a catch and run that he's running on an in breaker, a glance route, which is like an extended slant route. It's cover zero from the Texans. Trevor checks into it. Like, so you see they had some check because then he checks in and he moves the back. It was a full slide protection. They wadded up against cover zero, hits the glance route, just a classic cover zero, like protection beater and answer, like throw. It's a tough throw though. And just a perfect ball, catch and run, just like good vibes. All right, we watched. Who cares about the last week's things, all the alligator arms? Who cares about the drops and all that? Just finish. It's how you finish, and it was really cool to actually see that kind of happen. That moment kind of happened for those two guys, especially. Travis Hunter just had the one catch and run, which came on a slot choice route, which is like the Travis Hunter special that they'll probably run 100 times for him this season. But kind of cool to see a little catch and run for him. So sloppy game, but a little moment, glimmer of hope at the end of the game.
Yeah, I guess my only concern I have about the Jaguars after this game. It's like, yeah, you got the win, but when I was looking through the stats after the game, they have 41% of their plays in this game gained 0 or fewer yards, which is, ooh boy. The Texans were at 34% for the game. Yeah, that's a tough way to win. Like you can really only win that way against the Texans,
I'll go rock for you. I'll go rock for rock. Let's go. Like this is what we want. They just stand in the middle and just take a bunch of. It's like the Homer Simpson when he became a boxer. It was just like where only reason he becomes a champ is because he could take punches. That's the Texans. Yes, they just take punches for 60 minutes, just try and survive, and they don't. 0-3.
Nope.
But it's not working.